Anyway, let's watch Scott Jennings destroy this liberal panel and expose exactly who the real globalists are. Let's go.
Yeah, to me, I take a pretty basic view of it. I mean, somebody has to be, to me, the final arbiter on some big decisions. There is a process in the Department of Justice usually, but that are recommendations that are made.
Yeah, but it's not being used.
Right.
Clearly, the process is not being used. The process wasn't used for Joe Biden's practically his entire family. The process was not used for all of the January 6th defendants who just got a writ of clemency from this president. I mean, what process? That process,
it doesn't seem,
I know it exists, but that process
it doesn't seem to make sense to me to leave it up to a commission. I mean, he's the president of the United States. He's the chief executive of this country. I mean, to me, there has to be a final arbiter on some of these things.
I agree with Ashley somewhat on this. I just think the idea that a president could right some wrongs, having that power vested in one person, and I do think the process does produce results sometimes. And I also think citizens and other people and members of Congress come forward with ideas. You know, some of the criminal justice things Trump did in the first term. So ideas do bubble up. The idea that someone could show mercy on people who deserve it, right wrongs, set things straight. I do like the idea that that can happen just like that. Now, does that mean everyone's going to be perfect? No. But the idea that that power sits there, I kind of like it, to be honest.
Chuck. And one of the big common denominators between many of them is that the people were prosecuted by people who prosecuted him. What kind of decision-making process is that? I mean, that doesn't make any sense.
I think you're making a valid point, and I think the point that Scott and I surprisingly agree on is that it has a purpose. It's like the ultimate opportunity for like earthly redemption almost, but it is being misused. And I'm not just saying by Trump. I think it has been misused on both sides.
I think every president has made some questionable decisions on this, but you could probably also look at every president and say, they made some great decisions that they probably feel good about, but it's all on the president.
Well,
they're the final arbiter.
He's offered everything. You're right. You know why? Because he doesn't want to fuck around with the United States.
I mean, Trump and a lot of his base, Trump ran in 2016. I was there against being involved in foreign wars. He just went to the Middle East this spring and said regime change has been a policy that failed in that region. So why is he seemingly engaging in that same kind of policy now and then not going to Congress and asking for authorization?
Legitimate question. I think Venezuela is a different kind of country. It's not really a real country. It's a narco-terrorist state. In his first term, he unleashed economic sanctions on them. We put a bounty on Maduro. I mean, we did all the things short of going to war with Venezuela to stop them from importing drugs into the United States. It did not work. They have continued to be a narco-terrorist state. They continue to flood drugs into the United States and dangerous people. And so one of the things about the America First movement and the MAGA movement is in Middle America, they believe our government has not taken a hard enough line against people who have put deadly drugs into this country. They promised this. And honestly, I think he's going to have a lot of political support for stopping these narco-terrorists.
Look, I do think that it's politically convenient to lay at the feet of Venezuela the drug problem that we have in this country, but it also is not aligned with the facts. According to the United States' own, assessments, Mexico-based transnational criminal organizations are primarily responsible for the supply of illicit drugs, including fentanyl, to the U.S. market.
They're going to keep talking about Venezuela, so I'll cover that in the next clip. So George Santos, I don't care about George Santos. I mean, he gets a pardon and suddenly Abby wants to rewrite the Constitution. She's acting like the presidential pardon itself is corrupt because she doesn't approve of how it was used. But that's the point of leadership. Someone has to make the final call. In this country, we're lucky enough to choose who the person is. Has every president made perfect choices? Of course not. Should Joe Biden have pardoned his criminal son and his entire family? No. Has Trump pardoned some people that have made me go, yeah. Do I care? No. Is it annoying when people have conversations with themselves on camera? Yeah. But that's the system. You're seeing both mercy and judgment at the very top. I think the real difference here is attitude. I see it as some decisions are above my pay grade. Abby sees it as, if she doesn't like it, the rule must be broken. That is the perfect embodiment of media narcissism. But I really like what Scott said. He said he likes that there's an ultimate get out of jail free card because real stories of redemption have come from that. And he's right. sometimes justice includes mercy.